So we provide, so it's the security of a different, let's say, considering quantum randomness is the improving the entropy and quality that you use to generate, for example, cryptographic keys. So for sure, you know, today if you sniff over internet, you will see that you have 1% of keys that are recurringly being used, typically like passwords. And so the idea is to of course, prevent this from happening by having a strong source of randomness. And for example, in IoT devices, it's really a problem because they have a limited power, computing power available, and pseudo randomness, for example, is very weak on IoT devices. So we improve here the security through the generation of stronger keys. And the other domain of quantum key distribution. So as I mentioned, quantum key distribution is a recognized worldwide new approach to distribute keys in a network, and you cannot intercept the keys without modifying them. So clearly, it's a new paradigm, a new approach to offer security on sensitive information.
Thank you. Any other questions for Jean-Sébastien right now? So you have new people, Lorraine, Nicholas, Timo Tinda, and Daniel H. We also have a lot of people that have been on before. Thanks for coming back. I saw Dan kind of squeeze in at the end there. So Vladimir, do you have any questions? And if not, VJ or Philip. So let me just say, and anybody can chime in anytime. This is perfect timing, Jean-Sébastien. He's in San Diego right now for the Inside Quantum Technology Conference. And there's been a lot of news in funding with cybersecurity and quantum. There's been PsiQuantum, you know, this Chuck Schumer kind of global foundries thing, handing out, you know, $25 million at a time. But it's likely going to be maybe the driving force in quantum with the, you know, post-quantum cryptography. And it's also likely, in my estimation, it's going to help the rest of the industry too, because you'll have better hardware, you know, as a result of trying to get better cybersecurity from other countries' quantum computers too. So somebody had, go ahead, VJ.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, John.
Welcome.
So I guess the latest report from MIT professor says this. Currently, we are having hundreds of qubits. But if you wanted to break, though Peter Shaw has theoretically proven RSA 248 can be broken, but if you wanted to break it in practical, you may need millions of qubits. So as per the roadmap of letters to IBM or others, it may take more than a decade now. Meanwhile, the RSA can be evaluated to the next industrial standard so that quantum is a hype kind of that. So what do you think about that statement?
I think effectively that today and for next year, the security of the data is ensured with thanks to classical cryptography. But if you deploy infrastructure, so typically in utilities, if you have IPs that you want to protect for 20 years, 30 years, then you need to think about what if my data is stolen and decrypted in 5-10 years. So that's a challenge as well in our domain. If effectively, if you look at 1 year, there's no problem. At 5 years, potentially not as well. But we are in a new domain in quantum computers and the evolution. We see new startups emerging every month with new approach and new capabilities. So clearly, IBM roadmap, I think, is giving potential timelines. I think if we refer to Google CEO statement at Davos, he mentioned that it was estimated within 5 to 10 years that Google would be able to breach existing cryptography. So there is an uncertainty on the timeline, but at some point it will happen. So if you want to protect long data with long lifetime, 10, 20, 30 years, you need, I think, to think about it today.